Hi Grace, it's Thursday and it is 11 and I kind of just woke up because no classes, but I have to go to campus really soon to meet with my SF professor with a couple of my friends, and then I'm going to a photography talk. You know how I wrote that essay last year about Karl Ove Knausgaard, that Norwegian guy who did a bunch of really long-winded memoirs? The photos that I used in that essay were taken by this photographer, so I thought that was really cool. My friend was telling me about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I know that name. It's a weird name. It's like something Beowulf or something. It's cool. I don't know. He takes really cool photographs, and I'm really excited. It's been a little rainy in the city, but it's really clear today, and it's a really pretty day. And so this week I wanted to talk about what's happening with the whole presidential race, and how there seems to be a lot more media hype about it this year. And I was talking about it with a lot of my friends, and we were talking about how inefficient it is to really have a two-party system in our government as a whole, and how people should really be voting based on the viewpoints of each candidate and not whether they're Democrat or Republican or independent, because that creates a wrong polarization of the viewpoints in our government. I feel like when you make people feel like they have to adhere to a certain structure of viewpoints in order to be affiliated with one side or the other, it doesn't allow much room for gray area or in-betweens or compromises. It just seems to be more aggressively, red or blue, Democrat, Republican, So I was also talking to my friends about how, America's only been around for so many years. And if we look at a lot of European countries that have been here since it seems like the dawn of time, they've gone through so many governmental structural changes, and they've revised constitutions, they've changed the way in which power is balanced in their political system. And I feel like a lot of times Americans forget that our country is still pretty relatively new. We've only been around for a couple hundred of years, as crazy as that seems. But we might actually need to change our political system. I mean, there's a lot flawed in it between the Electoral College and people in Congress that aren't doing shit. Things aren't really effective, and I think what's gonna suck the most for this election is that people aren't really gonna think for themselves. I mean, there are good candidates on the Republican side, there are good candidates on the Democratic side in terms of efficiently running the country from this point. As much as a lot of people would love a very liberal candidate or a very conservative candidate, I don't think that's what we really need right now. I think we need someone right in the middle. That's just my opinion, but I just thought that it was kind of funny how people have been really focusing on only a number of candidates and not focusing on everybody involved in the race and what they have to offer and what their viewpoints hold. And if you actually do your research, if you actually go online and if you look up past debates, past talks, past interviews, and you really unfold who has what viewpoints, you'd be surprised as to how many candidates you kind of just assumed were bad or assumed were ridiculous. And I consider myself to be pretty liberal, and I honestly can say that some of the Republican candidates aren't that bad. But even though, this is a problem, I shouldn't have to realize that oh, maybe there's people from the other side that are decent or worth voting for. But I think there's a lot of stigma that goes along with there's a lot of stigma and stereotypes that go along with being a Democrat or being a Republican, and that's what's really holding people back. So that's pretty much all I want to say on the topic. I hope you are having the time of your life in Europe. And didn't you go to Paris last week? Tell me how that went. and I will be chatting with you again very soon.